This is a special edition of KTSM 9 News Small Town Spotlight.
KTSM 9 News at 6, live on location tonight from Ysleta as part of our summer Small Town Spotlight series, all made possible by the fine folks at Charlie Clark Nissan. We are coming to you live right out in front of the Ysleta Mission. Thank you for joining us for this special edition of KTSM 9 News at 6. I'm Andy Morgan.
And I'm Natasha Paloma, and you can probably all hear the bell ringing behind us. It's ringing at every hour, top of the hour, perfectly ringing there. And as you mentioned, Andy, we're in front of the Ysleta Mission, built by the Tigua Indians in 1682. And I mentioned this before, I just love the Spanish and the Native American influence. We also took a tour inside of the chapel. The pews are so beautiful. And we also got a little bit of a look at the original vigas on the ceiling, and also the adobe that made the
original
church.
Adobe from the 1600s. And when you put that kind of history into perspective, I think we were trying to do the math, 350 years, I believe. I mean, that's just absolutely amazing. And actually the bell that you hear ringing behind us right now, that is the original bell. And of course, we've talked about a lot of these missions seem to have something in common, and that of course was flooding.
Right, it's endured so many natural disasters, and it's still standing today.
And there, that is the original bell, which I think is really, really cool to kind of walk up on it and see it. A lot of history to talk about here today from Ysleta.
That's right, and the Tiguas, the people here are still heavily involved in both the church. Across the church, of course, we have Speaking Rock.
That's right.
But been here since 1682, and they still have so much culture. Take a look at their legacy.
Makuam, welcome to the Pueblo. It's an honor to give our information and our history about the Pueblo. First of all, in 1680, when the Pueblo revolt happened, the Spanish conquistadores brought down our ancestors down to El Paso. Back then was known as Paso del Norte and is now known as El Paso, Texas. This is where our ancestors created their home grounds. We come from Ysleta, New Mexico. Our population back in the 90s, 80s, it was 1,500. Now we have quadrupled in size. We're at almost 5,300. Federal grants don't really help, but we have Speaking Rock. That's when the council back in the 90s created Speaking Rock. The former leaders back then realized, okay, we can have our own gaming facility, Class 2 gaming lottery. We use Speaking Rock funds to offset our elders program. We assist our elders with utility bills, housing, education, all of our general fund needs, which is quality of life programs, the rec center. We're looking at building other 3 projects that we have in store for next year that we can now budget. We're not living in that fear of the state coming down and closing us. We still have a pending bill in Congress where that bill is going to put us under NIGC, National Indian Gaming Commission, and that's what we're fighting for, to make sure that that bill passes through. So that's how Speaking Rock came into place, to offset all those services.
I just love that, and as we mentioned, we got to tour the inside of the church, and we were just looking up, we were with Monica there, and just looking up at everything in awe, just beautiful, even the 100%. Art that they have there, just gorgeous.
And we highlighted the gift shop, recognized 3 years in a row, by the way, as the best in the city for the best gift shop in El Paso. Absolutely gorgeous, everything that you see there. 90% of it was handcrafted. They got the locally housed artists, of course, that kind of contribute to the gift shop. So just everything about it, very, very cool.
Yeah, and the tradition here for the Tiguas, it lives on. And I know Chief Meteorologist Monica Cortez has some very special guests rather with her. Hey, Monica.
Hey, Natasha, you're absolutely right. You know, people here are so incredibly nice. I love their culture. As a matter of fact, I am with Rick Quesada. He is here, and you know, you call yourself a historian. I love everything that he's been telling me about it. And you're a Tigua yourself, is that correct?
That is correct. I'm a tribal member.
Oh man, can you tell me your Indian name again? It was so beautiful.
Turcabe.
Turcabe, I love that. So tell us a little bit about the church. I mean, we just learned a little bit about it, but you're telling me that there's just so much behind it.
Yes, our mission was established in 1682, right after the Pueblo revolt of 1680. And the Tigua founding fathers actually built the mission, and it's been the focal point of our religious calendar here at the Pueblo.
Man, and so you were even telling me that everything here has a meaning, from the Virgencita that we see just across from the church. Talk a little bit about that.
The Virgencita holds a special place in our religious calendar. She is the mother of Jesus, and actually she is the mother of the Pueblo as well.
Oh man, I love it. I could just spend all day looking at the church. It is incredible. Thank you so much, Rick, for that. I'm gonna pick your brain right after this in a little bit. But let me tell you guys, today we ended up topping out at 99 degrees. That was your official high, and it definitely felt a lot hotter, but it does look like we're gonna be seeing those triple digits returning to the forecast. Everything you need to know a little later in this newscast. Back to you guys.
All right, Monica, thank you for just joining us. This is our Small Town Spotlight series. We do this every Wednesday. Andy, you've done 16. I've joined you for
week 16.
Yes, this is my third. I was on maternity leave. So great to be with you. You always learn so much. Monica, everything she learned just now, you're always going to learn when you watch our series.
Or even find maybe special gems inside the community that you didn't necessarily know about before. I know I was so impressed when we went to Socorro with some of the establishments that kind of in and around that. And what's really cool about being here in Ysleta is it's kind of the third leg in our tour of the 3 missions here.
That's right.
We had Socorro, we had San Elizario, and here we are outside of the Ysleta mission. Really, really cool to be here and just see that history and kind of see it kind of full circle moment.
Right. We're going to have so much for you in just a few minutes, but first we're going to send it back to Stephanie in the studio. Stephanie, she has our news of the day. Hey, Stephanie.
Well, hey, Andy and Natasha, we'll get back to you all in just a bit, but we begin with a crash involving a motorcycle that left one person seriously injured in South Central El Paso. Now, according to police, this happened today on Glenwood Street and El Paso Drive, that is near Paisano. Investigators say the motorcyclist was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. No word yet on what led to the crash. Now, in an update, police say a 60-year-old unidentified man was killed Tuesday after a crash involving a motorcycle. As we reported, the crash happened on I-10 West and Schuster. Investigators say the man was driving a motorcycle and was reportedly weaving through traffic at high speeds. Police say he then collided with a vehicle that had just re-entered traffic. That is when he was thrown off his motorcycle. He died at the scene. The other vehicle's driver was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. All right, well, that was a look at your top stories for the day. Let's go ahead and send things back over to Andy and Natasha, who are out live in Ysleta for our Small Town Spotlight. Hey, guys, how's everything out there?
Hey, Stephanie, thank you so much. Yeah, there's so much to visit here in the Ysleta area, from its beautiful architecture that you're seeing behind us to its serene landscape and its family-friendly parks.
Yeah, and it's absolutely growing too. Certainly one of the new parks that we've seen, Shaver Park, really, really cool because it's not just an ordinary park. It also accommodates people with disabilities. Take a look.
This is the first of its kind here in El Paso. This is the very first one that El Paso has decided to build, and I'm fortunate, and the people around here deserve this kind of amenity down here because, as you can tell, they're a very active community down here in the Mission Valley area. They also ask for these kind of amenities because they have children with disabilities. When I first started in 2017, right after 2018, I talked to Mr. Gonzalez about it. And because I had people approaching me that they wanted it at another park that was closer to their house. So I kind of mentioned it, and here we are, 2023. It's going to be done by October the 31st. And I'm hoping to see everybody from all over the city come over here and experience this. I'd like to see people from all over the city, this community, and see the type of amenity that's really needed, not only in El Paso, but everywhere throughout the country for our kids that are with disability.
All right, and joining us now is the rep that you see there in that story, Henry Rivera, District 7 representative, joining us here today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me here. I really do appreciate that.
We just talked about Shaver Park. So I believe you said it was going to open in October. It seems like it takes a lot of work to get something like this done. How is it going to feel for you to see finally those kids there on the playground?
It's going to be exciting. It's going to be not only, I just want the whole community to come out and enjoy this park and have every child, whether they have disabilities or not, enjoy that park. That's the main focus of this whole park, and it'll be the first in El Paso, and I believe there's a couple more to come, but who's talking about those other parks?
Yeah.
I'm talking about the one in District 7. That'll be the first here in El Paso.
And that's really cool. New exciting things kind of coming to your district, but
Yes,
we
it
say
is.
that as we're right behind the Ysleta mission.
Yes, it is, sir.
And so much history and tradition with it. I just want to know, I guess, just how important it is for you and of course your staff and District 7 to kind of preserve that history.
Well, first and foremost, I got great news before that you said that, because you gave me the segue.
Okay.
Ah.
Is that we just approved a no new revenue tax law
Right.
for the community of El Paso, which allows us to focus more on parks, streets, and public safety, as people want. So, with that in mind, it allows us to create more amenities for this community, pave more streets, and continue what they want us to complete.
Yeah, just finished completing a big project for your constituents here in District 7. Are there any other things that you're working on right now?
Are you talking about our new, the Ysleta del Sur Pride's medical facility? Have you guys been in there? Isn't that
Not
beautiful?
yet.
Oh, that
Yeah.
is a beautiful facility. I really strongly recommend that you take a tour of it. It's unique and one of a kind. The tribe has been also a strong partner of this community, and so I'm glad to represent them now. And I represent my area all the way to Socorro, El Paso County the state city line, and so we've got lots of projects in mind. I'm working with Socorro as well to hopefully accomplish some of those feats for this community. But going back to your question, it's really exciting. I'm so proud to represent this community, and I just want to keep working. This smell is really good.
I know, right?
It is
A lot of
delicious.
pride.
Sorry
in this
about
community.
that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you sound very busy, Mr. Ysleta. Thank you so much for joining us
Thank
here
you for
today.
having me. Appreciate you all.
Thank
All right, we have much more after this quick break. Stay with us.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Well, I'm really happy to say that I'm finally in the shade. Today was so brutal with that heat. And you know what? Today we flirted with triple-digit highs. 99 was your official high. And behind me, I actually have the Tigua social dancers. Guys, do you want to take it away for a little bit? We're going to be seeing them do their traditional dance. It's a really cool one. But as they get started, let's go ahead and take a look at what you can expect for the rest of your 9-day forecast. Well, unofficially, we're looking at 96 degrees as your afternoon high in El Paso, 94 in Las Cruces, 95 in Deming. As we take a look at our forecast overnight lows tonight, we're expecting to dip into those 70s, so we're back to normal. 71 in Las Cruces, 75 in Juarez. Here is what's going on. The heat is back. High pressure system definitely settling right over the Texas Panhandle region, so that means that we're going to be definitely feeling and seeing some really hot temperatures, including here in El Paso tomorrow. We're forecasting a high of 103 degrees. Yes, those triple digits return. Southerly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. And as we take a look at the Mesilla Valley, 100 degrees. Easterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Unfortunately, our allergy forecast continues to remain mild. And here's a quick look at your 9-day forecast. So we're going to stay in those triple digits from Thursday all the way through Saturday. 100 your forecast high. Then on Sunday, we'll be flirting with triple digits. So I won't say that they're completely gone, but next week we do have a cold front. This is the one that's going to drop us to about 95 on Tuesday, 89 potentially on Wednesday, and you'll notice our better chances for some rain will be Tuesday, Wednesday of next week before we slowly begin to warm back into those mid-90s. I do want to give a big shout out to our very loyal weather watcher, Bridget Lewis. Thank you so much for allowing us to see this rain coming down in parts of the borderland area. And if you'd like to be featured on KTSM 9 News, go ahead and submit those beautiful weather photos to us through our social media platforms or email news@ktsm.com. Like I said, these are the Tigua social dancers, and right now they're performing their traditional dances. You can actually catch them here on the weekends. They also do events. It is just so beautiful to see exactly their beautiful cultural dance, and just look at it. I love it. I truly am enjoying this, and so don't go anywhere, guys. We have much more to share.
Football season is right around the corner in the borderland, and KTSM is your home for all the preseason previews of UTEP and New Mexico State, plus high school football with the 9 overtime crew and the reveal of our fine 9 best players in the borderland coming up Friday at 6:30 on Studio 9.
And now, KTSM 9 Sports with Colin Deaver. Sponsored by Glasheen Bias and Enderman Injury Lawyers.
Welcome back to KTSM 9 News at 6 from Ysleta for our small town spotlight. I'm Colin Deaver with your sports report. Of course, the Ysleta Indians, one of the oldest high schools in the entire region, built in 1927. They have battled for Lower Valley supremacy ever since. NFL players like Jim Price and Jesse Whittington among the distinguished alumni at Ysleta High School. This year's Ysleta football squad hoping to make some noise of their own. They are the subject of tonight's 9 overtime high school football previews. Joe Martinez's bunch made the playoffs a year ago for the 4th consecutive year, bowing out in the first round to Amarillo Tascosa, but it was a young Ysleta team out there last season. At one point, Martinez had to start 10 sophomores in the game. That paid off. They bring back 16 starters from a season ago, including junior quarterback Evan Martinez and two-way player DeAndre Jackson. If it all comes together, Ysleta thinks they should be in the hunt for another playoff berth.
It's a luxury because instead of installing a playbook, we're focusing on technique. So we're, weeks ahead of where we were last year at this time. So that just it puts us, at a big advantage. Going into week 0, we're in mid-season form already.
My favorite part of it is probably the culture. Just every day, you know what to expect, you know to put in 100%, and if you don't, then you won't get what you want. So that's what I like, the culture.
Ysleta will open the 2023 season with a big rivalry game as they host Riverside in the Battle for Texas 20 next Friday at 7 p.m. That is also the first night of the Borderlands' best high school football wrap-up show, 9 overtime. Tune in for the season premiere of 9OT at 10:15 on August 25th with myself, Sam Guzman, Ed Stansbury, Jason Flores, and Andy Morgan. To a recent 9 overtime superstar who's now playing in the Big 12 Conference, former Canutillo running back LJ Martin is already seemingly taking BYU by storm after rushing for well over 5,000 yards in his high school football career. The 3-star recruit scored a pair of touchdowns in BYU scrimmage over the weekend. At 6'2", 205 pounds, he's got a ready-made frame for the Big 12, and BYU offensive coordinator Aaron Roderick already says that LJ is one of the best players on their roster.
LJ Martin is a standout in camp so far. He's one of the best players on this team, and he will play this year. You'll see he's a very good football player. I try not to get too excited about freshmen sometimes, but he's already proven that he's going to be a player for us this season.
A top 50 running back in his high school class, Martin led Canutillo to back-to-back Sweet 16s in 2021 and 2022. He'll look to show off at the college level immediately when BYU hosts Sam Houston on September 2nd. Over at UTEP, the Miners are now just 10 days away from their season opener on the road at Conference USA newcomer Jacksonville State. UTEP has lofty goals this year. Many of them hinge on senior quarterback Gavin Hardison, who was very up and down a year ago, throwing for over 2,000 yards and 11 touchdowns, but also 8 interceptions. If UTEP is to accomplish all that they want to, Hardison will have to be great. His NFL dreams hinge on that as well.
Same goals, and I think that this has been the best fall camp so far up to this point. Best fall camp that I've had, and as we've had it as a team since I've been here. My mentality is just, if I perform and I put our team in the best position to win, then everything will take care of itself.
Hardison missed the last 2 games of the year with an injury. He said part of his offseason work was injury prevention as well as ball security. They will open the season August 26th at Jacksonville State. What a spread we've got in front of us here.
You missed out.
Yes. Gorditas, menudo, fajitas, and the Pueblo melts.
The wasp that almost stung me before my hit was probably
smelling.
Yeah, he was definitely checking it out, especially that gordita who's had my name on it this entire time.
The menudo has mine.
There you go, too.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us here for our small town spotlight here in Ysleta. We will see you back in the studio at 10. KTSM 9 News Now with Estela Casas is up next.
Have a good night.